Welcome to the Fourth and Gold NFL podcast. We've made it to the final game. Super Bowl 60 is upon us. I've experienced only one side of this game as a fan. I've had three just heartbreaking losses as a 49ers fan. Paul, I know that you've sort of seen both sides of this. You've felt both sides. So what does it feel like? Like when your Steelers win the Super Bowl? That's a feeling I don't know.
So the two victories that I've seen, the 2005 one, the Jerome Bettis coming home to Detroit, that run, it almost felt like they were, before they even turned up to that game, they were going to win. It was written in the stars, destiny, however you describe it, because they were they went on a run. They had to win four straight to even make the playoffs. And then they were the first, I believe this is right, they were the first number 6 seeds to go on the road and beat the Bengals, then beat the Colts and the Peyton Manning offense, and then beat the Broncos. And then by the time that happened, you're like, yeah, I mean, the Seahawks have no chance. And yeah, so that one I was almost prepared for because, they were just so ready for that. The '08 one was a crazy game, the San Antonio Holmes. That was a crazy game. Like the touchdown, the Harrison pick, literally
Greatest Super Bowl of all time.
a 14-point swing in the Super Bowl, pretty much on halftime. Like the Cardinals are there, goal to go, gonna score a touchdown heading into halftime. And yeah, and the way that play was just crazy. Like with his teammates helping him along the sideline. That was a crazy one. And then we ran into a complete buzzsaw in the Aaron Rodgers only one Super Bowl win of Aaron Rodgers' career and that offense. And they were a bit of a team of destiny. Like I said, with the Steelers in '05, that Packers team had many disappointments before, and then the one year that they had a really good defense, unfortunately, they played against my Steelers in the Super Bowl, and yeah, explosive offense, great defense. Clay Matthews and Charles Woodson, and it was still a great game, that Super Bowl. It was really high scoring, went back and forth. Um, Mendenhall had a big time fumble late in the game that kind of killed the Steelers' comeback, but yeah, and even I'll show my age, like had a losing feeling in the '95 Super Bowl to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys were the best team in the league at that point. Like that they were back in the days of the NFC being dominant, and the Cowboys finally knocked off that 49ers team. And then we made it to the Super Bowl to play that Cowboys team, and they had Aikman and Irvin and Deion Sanders playing on offense. And unfortunately, we had Neil O'Donnell playing quarterback, and he threw two picks, and that was all she wrote. So yeah, I'm 500 for the Super Bowl, 2 wins, 2 defeats, but yeah, it's a great feeling, and they've been great games. Maybe the
Yeah.
Seattle game wasn't really competitive. It was a bit of a defensive struggle. Wasn't a great watch for the like casual fan, but the other games, I mean, the Cardinals game was a crazy game. The Cowboys game going back was a crazy game, and the Packers game was a great Super Bowl. So it's none of this Patriots Rams back in the day with Goff, Goff and Goff and Brady and whatever that was. What was
10-3, 13-3.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Edelman MVP.
that's the worst Super Bowl that I can remember. I didn't have a look at that fight, and I was, I wanted to obviously I wanted to see a great game, and that was not a great game. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, I'm 500 for the Super Bowl, but I'm lucky enough to have had a team to root for in four of them. But it doesn't take away from the Super Bowl. it's amazing. It's you make plans around it, and you just want to see a great game. So, and I think this could be a great Super Bowl. It's got it's got a few interesting narratives heading into it. With second year quarterback, the head coach is there, the Sam Darnold's. Yeah, there's quite a few narratives with this Super Bowl, so we shall see what happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. And I just think that when you get to a Super Bowl, the time is now. Do not you've got to bring your best because there's no guarantee that you'll be back. If anything, it's a guarantee that it will be very hard for you to get back. So this is a big opportunity for both teams. But if I look at both teams, I would say I think Seattle are more desperate to win this one because they're about to see a lot of change. Like their owners are about to sell the team. We don't know what the new owners will bring to this organization. They're about to lose, reportedly, Clint Kubiak as their OC. So they're going to be looking for a new offensive coordinator in a search that a lot of teams have already been, making hires. And then you've got players to worry about. Kenneth Walker, you've got to pay. Possibly Sam Darnold's agent is going to give you a call for a bump. So when I look at both teams, I'm sort of saying I think Seattle are the ones that are going to undergo more change here. The Patriots know who their coach is, who their OC is, young quarterback on his rookie deal.
Yeah.
Like they've got room to, I'd say, grow. Like they're not, their roster is not at its peak yet. But
Yeah,
yeah,
what you said, because that was my thought about this game was New England's probably here a bit early. I think
yeah,
even the most patriotic, excuse the pun, of Patriots fans would, if they're being real, would say we're we're like delighted to be here, but we didn't expect to be here.
Mm.
I
You'd be
think,
surprised. You'd be surprised.
yeah,
Boston Sports Radio says that they are going to get to, I think he said, 3 of the next 5 Super Bowls. So that'll be interesting. We'll see.
but would they have said that in preseason this year?
No.
11 wins, possibly challenging for a wild card. Okay, but even the most delusional of Patriots fans, if you recorded them preseason, would say, yeah, we maybe make the playoffs, maybe winning record playoffs, maybe a really optimistic one says, yeah, we're challenging the Bills, or maybe we win the AFC East. Even with this talk about the easy schedule, and sorry, but that is and still is a real thing. Like you could have 10, 11 wins and go, yeah, but we're not going to make it through. We've got a second year quarterback, first year head coach. I know he's a veteran head coach, but the rest of the roster is not the Seattle roster, and it's not the Rams roster, and it's not like the Ravens roster. And, so it's fair and reasonable to say that they're ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
So
that is fair. You know, I think a lot of Patriots fans, like you said, were thinking we can make the playoffs this year. Maybe we can win a game or two at max. But Super Bowl, you're really talking like your purist Patriot fans thinking that. One person who doesn't seem to be a Patriots fan this week is Sir Thomas Brady, who has basically said he doesn't have a dog in this fight, which has it's upset a lot of ex-players. I mean, you've played for the team for 20 years, you've won a whole host of Super Bowls, and you're not rooting for them. That tells me maybe his ego's getting in the way, that he doesn't want the Patriots to win without him. Maybe
still the same owner.
still the
Oh,
same owner.
owner who did he? Yeah, he took your side in the fight between you and Belichick, from what I remember.
There's a documentary where they're all taking Brady's side. So yeah, making headlines as usual. But Here's before we go into the matchups, one obscure stat for you. This is the first Super Bowl where both teams lost in week one. So next year, everyone, don't lose your minds if you lose in week one because anything's possible.
Yeah, week one is an extension of the preseason. Seems a long, long time ago that the Patriots lost to the Raiders. And
Yeah. Well put. Well put.
the Jets like scared the crap out of my Steelers, and Justin Fields threw for three, whatever it was. He was dotting up the Steelers. Justin Fields was gonna lead an explosive Jets offense. Yeah.
The Niners beat Seattle in week one, and the next two games looked nothing like that. So, yeah, that's a good way to put it. An extension of the preseason.
But the Niners, still okay. The game late in the season to decide the number one seed, what turned out to be non-competitive. But the Niners had a great season. That week wasn't it wasn't like a Patriots Raiders.
It was, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. So if we look into this game, you know what? I've been thinking about it all week, and I'm just going to shoot my shot. And I'm going to say that JSN does not have a big game, stat wise. And the reason I say that is I just don't think Vrabel can ignore the fact that this is a top tier receiver, and we've just seen what he's capable of in the NFC Championship. What was it? 160, 150? And now, yeah, okay, the Rams, they play a different scheme. Like he was getting wide open, just tearing these zones apart. So I'm sure that the Patriots are going to play man to man on him. But I feel like they're going to go a step further than that and they're going to double him. And I think you said it earlier. The Seahawks know how to cause problems by lining him up in the backfield, putting him in motion. I just think that the Patriots should be going, will go, and I think they should be going into this game saying, we simply cannot get beaten by JSN. Let Cup beat us. Let Barner beat us. Let Kenneth Walker beat us. But we simply cannot get beaten by JSN. So I think if they do that, it's on the other guys to win their one-on-one matchups. Will Shaheed be more involved? I know that he's very dangerous in the returning game, but they don't target him all that much in the receiving game. So if that happens and they're able to take JSN away, I think that this could stifle Seattle's offense a bit. Like it's on Kenneth Walker, not just running the ball, but passing out the backfield to him. That's the route I think that the Patriots need to take if they're going to slow down what is an explosive Seattle offense.
I think there's two parts to it. Yeah, like you said, limit or game plan to take away JSN. Okay, that's part one. But part two is that Kenneth Walker is going to be involved running and catching out of the backfields. And you have to bring him down at the first or minimum the second point of contact because he turns short passes into huge chunk plays with missed tackles and the change of direction he has. Like he's really shifty in the open field. So New England is a good tackling team. They have a good success rate, but Kenneth Walker's different. He's really, really good, and they don't often see players as elusive and powerful, and like he's pretty low to the ground as well, and he's solid, Kenneth Walker. So that's going to be a key matchup for me is yards after the catch from Kenneth Walker out of the backfield because it is him. Charbonnet's not here. So are the New England linebackers and the safeties coming down, bringing down Kenneth Walker before he gets fully running and into your secondary? I think that's a key key element to this game for me. Like Kenneth Walker, yeah, because you can limit one, but can you limit both? I think it's
Mm.
very hard.
Agreed. And when I was watching the NFC Championship, I don't know if it was me over exaggerating, but Kenneth Walker just popped when he got the ball. Like I thought I was sort of looking at a Saquon type player. Like
Yeah,
he's someone that I know you've had high regard for a long time, and yeah, if he gets into space, like that's where you're talking like he could go to the house. Like you do have to cut him off at the source, otherwise
yeah.
you're in trouble. And you saw that one-on-one matchup in the NFC Championship where I can't remember who it was, but he completely faked the guy out, like right at the line of scrimmage. One to the right, no, I'm out to the left. He's very elusive.
That was a negative play too. It
Oh
was a
yeah, it would have been for sure.
play. Like, yeah, and it's as simple as he was like, "Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what to do. I'm that talented." Yeah, he knows what to do because it was a broken play.
Yeah. So then, if you look on the other side of the ball, the question I've got a big question really. Like, who is going to make the difference for New England in the passing game? Because I look at that Seattle, they aren't doubling Diggs. Like they will feel confident we can contain Diggs overall. This
Yeah.
isn't like the NFC Championship where you had two seriously good receivers in Nakua and Devontae Adams to deal with. I'm not saying Diggs isn't a good receiver, but he's not that top tier elite player where your your coordinators aren't able to sleep at night. Like I think that they will feel like we can contain him enough.
Yeah, I think the New England offense, the way for them to be successful is just to be efficient and just to be in lots of third and shorts and just sounds boring and I hope it doesn't turn into this, but just don't have negative plays.
Mm.
Drake Mays fumbled it 6 times, lost it 3 times in the playoffs. You can't have that. And you can't have negative plays or not many negative plays in the running game. So keep the Seattle offense off the field and just have long drives and just wear down this defense. Because this defense is predicated on speed and negative plays for your offense and taking the ball away. So yeah, and then if you do get stopped, then just be very careful where you punt the ball to. Just you don't want Shaheed to catch the ball running. You don't want him to catch the ball in the middle of the field where it can go either way. You don't want to kick it too long, so you like out kick your coverage. And I'm sure they won't because they're the Patriots, and by definition they limit mistakes. They don't kill themselves, but yeah, you've got to be very aware of Shaheed. So when you punt the ball away, but yeah, for me that's New England. Like I think it's going to be hard to have really explosive plays. They can because Drake May's got a great arm, but he misses some throws. He misses some almost like a Caleb. Like he's great at the wow throws, and then sometimes you're like, how did he miss that? He's that good, and he just missed that. So, and it's not like you can turn it on or off, and it obviously depends on pressure and how he's feeling. But if he can just be efficient, so for New England, it's efficiency for me on offense. Can they do that? I think that's their only chance.
And I say like the start of the game is very important, as we've seen all year against Seattle. They are going to be throwing haymakers at you in the form of aggressive rushing. They're going to try and hit you early. They want to get to May, quickly in the game. So I know I've been picking on him for weeks now, but this is a big moment for Will Campbell, like who he's struggled. Like, there's no bones about it. He has struggled in the playoffs, and that is Drake May's blindside.
Yeah,
And so we've seen it.
yeah, the Patriots with the fumbles. So the fumbles are real. The fumbles are out there in the playoffs. So Seattle are going to go for the ball every time they're wrapping up a ball carrier. They're going for the ball, and so the Patriots, it's all very well being told to wrap up, but like when you're being hit and you've only got the ball under like one arm control, Seattle are going to try to rip that out, and yeah, the Drake May fumble thing is real, and every time he is contacted by a Seattle defender, I don't believe they are going. Yeah, they're going to go for the. Obviously, they're going to try to take him down. But so in sacks, in when Drake May takes off in the running game, Seattle's really good at taking the ball away. So
Mm.
yeah, that needs to be a New England like thing, right? Don't this team's good enough already. Don't give them extra. Don't give them like a free possession. Don't turn the ball over or limit the turnovers. If they do with a great play, like a great pick or something, or a really, really like intelligent coverage, okay. But if you just fumble the ball, like because you didn't wrap it up and you saw the defender coming, then yeah, that would be tough for the Patriots to overcome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's easy to forget that Drake May is in year two,
Hmm.
so he's still learning.
Yeah,
And we've seen it. You're right. He's been a bit loose with ball protection, and a lot of that comes because a lot of the sack fumbles have come from his blind side. But I agree with you. Like some of the fumbles have come on runs as well. This is not the team to play with that. You better secure the football because even if you've got it secure, they are going to come heavy to punch it out. And I don't know, like Drake May in the AFC Championship on the third play, I think, threw a pick. It was dropped, but it was like one of those. Like I think it was Hufanga. He's gonna be thinking about that all off season. It was a slam dunk in the basket pick. So the key for Drake May is to settle in this game, not
yeah,
make an early mistake because we've seen it with these Seattle games. They can really unravel quickly. I mean, I've experienced it. Well, I experienced it 2 or 3 weeks ago. Game was over in 20 seconds, but never mind. And Mike McDonald, that's the thing. Like he, whether it's there's something to it or not, he is 6-0 against young quarterbacks. So quarterbacks under the age of 24 have had no success, literally none. Like I think the touchdown to interception ratio for those games is 1-8, and the quarterback's been sacked 22 times. So
could we look up his record as Ravens DC for young quarterbacks? Because
mm,
Seattle head coach, but he earned the right to be Seattle head coach after his work in Baltimore.
that infamous Christmas Day game against the Niners, Purdy threw Purdy threw 5 picks. They weren't all gimmies. Like he was under a lot of pressure. So it's whether or not can the Patriots protect May enough for him to not be running around. That's I've experienced it this season. These guys, like you've said, they're fast. They will get after the quarterback.
Yeah, and there'll be some disguises, and they'll crowd the line, and some will drop, so, and some will come, and some will drop, and who is coming and who is not, and yeah, and Mike McDonald is a great, as you said, he's a great defensive coach. He's had 2 weeks to prepare for this. It's on tape. Their fumbling problems, their Will Campbell's recent struggles. The speed is real, and I don't think there's going to be any field conditions to deal with. in San Francisco. Yeah, this it's hard to make a case for the Patriots winning the game. I'm just being real about it. It's you have to be very optimistic and you have to think that Seattle maybe plays the game more than the opponent or that Sam Darnold has a meltdown. But even when he has had his moments, including very recently against the Rams, he has come back within the same game to almost like snap himself out of it and then come back to the elite level of play. And the meltdowns that the narrative with Darnold and the meltdowns, they are now further apart those moments. So it would be great for him to just win this one and then be okay. Look, let's just keep it down now about Sam Darnold. He has, and he's going to be 28 years old. He is 28 years old, so he's still he's still got what 10 years in this league.
That's amazing because he's had so many different experiences already
Yeah,
at that age. Good ones, bad ones, but they all add up. So he's, I think that he'll be settled in this game. And like you said it at the time when it happened. Do you remember that first game against the Rams? He threw 4 picks. And you said it at the time, you said they lost by a field goal at the end. So that shows you he has had, well, in that game there's leeway for him to make mistakes. I think more so than if Drake May makes mistakes in this game.
yeah. I said that if I was a Seattle's fan, then I'd be really encouraged by the defeat
Yeah.
and and the defeat margin to the Rams, and they're going to meet again, and they did twice, and they were both great games. And yeah, to have that many turnovers just doesn't happen. To turn the ball over 4 times and to be close. And it's funny that we're talking about Darnold turning the ball over 4 times and it being close and being encouraged. So the Patriots had, in recent memory, CJ Stroud and 5 turnovers. And up until pretty late, that was quite close.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like if CJ Stroud had 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers, maybe, you can make a case that the Texans win that game because their defense was dominant.
One was a pick six. So that was 7 points. Here you go. You know, so I think for the Patriots, like Josh McDaniels is going to have to bring his absolute best. Like if it goes the way I think it's going to go, I think the Patriots will be behind at some point, and he has the magical touch in big moments. He's proven it before that he can find plays, not necessarily always trick plays, but he's got a lot in his bag, shall we say? And if he needs to, he definitely does have trick plays to kickstart the offense. Why don't you give me your summary? Like, are you ready to make your pick, Paul?
Sure. So I see there's 2 outcomes in this game. I see it's a Seattle blowout, or and I say blowout. I don't mean they get blown off the field. I say they win 2 scores or more. Like like you said, they just come out firing. They get up by 2 scores pretty quickly, and then it's going to be tough for the Patriots because I see the Patriots winning or keeping it competitive by running the ball and being efficient and just keeping the Seattle offense off the field. I've been trying to make a case for the Patriots just because I knew we were going to come on and talk about this game. But the fact that I've watched their games in the playoffs and their offense has struggled so much, I can't see Seattle playing a bad game for the whole game. And I think if Seattle play a good half, then I think that's enough to win this game. And they are a bit of a streaky team, the Seahawks. They can just go on a little run. And like we saw against the Rams, like just before the half, they can like put together multiple scoring drives. And you saw it against the 49ers. Like they can just dominate teams and their defense can be scary at times. So I worry for the Patriots and their offensive line against just the team speed of this Seahawks defense. But then historically, it's the Seahawks against the Patriots, so these games are close. And I heard that today. Oh, they played each other 10 times. Yeah, but they're NFC, AFC teams. Like, they play each other once every 4 years if it's not in the Super Bowl. So I don't take anything from that. And I don't, it's not Sherman and Chancellor and Brady. It's not those guys. These are all new guys. So there's no historic angle to this. It's not the Malcolm Butler game. It's not the Why You Mad Bro game, the Sherman Brady game. It's not that. This is a new thing. But so I say that the Seahawks win by a touchdown. Just putting it all together, I just can't make a case for the Patriots winning because their most recent games, they could have lost. Maybe not to the Chargers, but definitely to the Texans and the Broncos. And that was 5 turnover CJ Stroud, and there was a backup quarterback in a snowstorm. And before the snow came, like the Patriots were in trouble. And they're lying if they tell you they weren't in trouble because they were in trouble at some point in that Broncos game. So, and the Seahawks were not. Seahawks would not have had trouble, I don't think, against either of those teams. So they could turn up and be amazing, the Patriots, but their wins, like the first game against the Bills, yeah, that was Bills kind of making mistakes and handling the game. And I get what the Patriots fans are going to say. Yeah, but you can only beat the teams. Yeah, that's fair. You can. But how do I know that you're ready for this test? I don't. I do, on the other hand, because I have evidence of seeing this Seattle team, and the evidence is on display of their wins. And there's many ways that they have won games over this year. They've won games in blowouts where they just stomped on teams. Then they've won games where it's ball control. And they've just gone, no, like that 49ers game, like, yeah, we're only going to concede 3 points today. And we're going to make mistakes on offense, but you can't do anything against our defense. And then they have games where the offense isn't clicking and then the special teams kicks in, or they have a big turnover on defense. They can win games a few different ways, this Seahawks team. So putting it all together, I find it really tough. And it is the Super Bowl, so I have put time into thinking of a way that the Patriots can win it, but I just can't. And I have to be fair to the game. And putting it all together, I say Seattle wins by 7. I think
Okay.
the spread is fair, and I've heard more people when the spread came out say I jumped straight on the Seahawks at 3.5. It was 3.5. It's now 4.5, and it hasn't moved. 4.5 is a lot, but the 3.5 people, the people who saw that line went, yeah, 3.5. I'll take that.
Yeah. It's hard to really argue. I mean, I think the only way that the Patriots can win this game is if the pattern follows through, that their defense forces turnovers, and not just one. They're going to need multiple turnovers in this game to win it, I think, because Seattle's defense is real. And it's been a great run for the Patriots, but I look at their weapons and I just think they're overmatched. Like, who is going to consistently beat this defense? And I don't know. I look at Diggs. I think Diggs could make a few plays. Yeah. Matt Collins will probably make a big play in the game, but you need more than that to beat this team. The Rams threw everything they had with Nakua, with Adams. It wasn't enough. So if the Rams can only get to, well, I say only, they can get to 27. I don't think the Patriots can get to that number without defensive turnovers. And I do think that the Patriots will limit the Seattle offense. I've already said it. I think they're going to take JSN out the game and say, beat us with someone else. But to your point earlier, it's not just JSN who's a superstar. We got this running back who is explosive in Kenneth Walker. You can't stop them both. And I think that is the problem overall. I think Seattle will struggle a little bit on offense, but Clint Kubiak will figure things out in the end. And I say it's a touchdown as well. I think this is one of those games where Seattle will probably lead for most of the game. And at the end, they'll be in management mode to see it over the line. So I say Seattle 24, Patriots 17, mostly a defensive struggle, but a bit of unlock. I say a bit of magic and unlocking from the offensive coordinators in the end to bring that score up. But overall, I just think Seattle are the better team from top to bottom. And it's been a great run for the Patriots,
Yeah.
but they are early, it feels like. And Seattle, I think, are ready. They are hitting peak.
Yeah, if you just look at the rosters, like
Yeah.
through the roster, you give a huge edge to the Seahawks. And a question for Patriots fans: Do you would you heading into this game have wanted to have played not a tougher schedule? Because I know the schedule thing kind of triggers people. Okay, I'll rephrase that. Would you have liked to have played a dominant team in the AFC before this matchup? Do you think it would have prepared you better for this moment? Because I know if I'm a Patriots fan and I'm being objective heading into this, I'm delighted to be here. I'm surprised that I'm here, maybe to an extent, but also in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, damn, we got some breaks in the playoffs. And this Seattle team, like that game against the Rams was, wow, that was, Stafford and Nakua and Adams, and wow, we didn't have that. Would you have liked to have had a true test in the playoffs like the Seahawks have had? It's just a real question for Patriots fans. I'm not trying to trigger anybody. I'm just throwing it out there.
And I honestly think that the Patriots would have preferred to have faced the Rams, even though that's a high octane offense. Defensively, there's more gaps, I think. And if they're in a shootout, I think that would have suited them. This defense is going to lock you up and come at you and possibly shut you down. I don't think they want to be in a game like this. So, yeah, I think, forget my 49ers hat for a second. Seattle, to me, are the better team, have been the best team this year. And, if they go on to win it, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, like I hate Seattle. Like, you got to give respect to a great team.
Yeah, and both teams, like the Darnold thing. So Darnold, yeah, like you said, he might ask for more money, but I don't know. He seems. I don't really think he's. I think if he finds a situation, like I think he'll stay. I think he'll stay. I don't think he's gonna be crazy and ask for crazy money. He might ask for a bit, but
He's
and
under contract for two more years. So
yeah,
I was just saying, like, the agent might be like, can we have a bump?
but Seattle. So they have Kenneth Walker as a free agent. Okay, I'm sure they'll find a way to get that done. And we've seen running backs aren't crazy expensive. This defense is all pretty cheap, and a lot of them are under rookie contracts. this offense. So Charles Cross is under a rookie contract. Zabel is under a rookie contract. JSN still under a rookie contract. Iman under a rookie contract. Their general managers pretty good at drafting. Okay, they have found a quarterback who is in the current NFL priced at a reasonable cap number. I think Seattle's going to be around, and yes, it is true that teams find it hard to return to the Super Bowl, but quite often that's because they have, yeah, and the OC that could make a difference. That could. That really, really could. I mean, he's just earned a head coaching job just based on the fact that he's unlocked Sam Darnold. Well, he hasn't. No, that's not even fair. Sam Darnold's been unlocked because he is the most winningest, the most winningest, if that's a word, quarterback in the last 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah. So back to back, what is it? Back to back 14-win seasons.
He's got over 30 wins over the last 2 years, which has never been done by a quarterback that's played for two teams.
That's including playoffs, though, right?
That's including playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, because they were both 14-3, the Vikings, and now yeah, wow. So I mean that's crazy, and considering he is meltdown Darnold, because we love that, YouTube tagline or headline like Darnold has a meltdown or whatever. Yeah, okay, but they're not that often, and
I think we were fair in the offseason. Like, we weren't like that extreme. We just said he's played very well, but he fell very short in two big games. So that was an obvious question. Can he deliver in a big game?
Yeah.
He's done that now in one, and we're about to see if he can do it in the biggest game there is.
Yeah, for two different teams, two different schemes. Credit to him.
Yeah.
Credit. And yeah, even in games, he's had moments where the old Darnold, it would have all kind of fallen apart.
Yeah.
And he's pulled it back together within games.
Within games, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the game. We've made our picks. We've got to have some betting specials for the Super Bowl. So why don't we kick off, Paul? I'm going to give you my favorite special, my Super Bowl special for this game. And I am going back to the well with this one. This is a previous winner that I will probably go to for every Super Bowl. It is, of course, non-quarterback to throw a passing touchdown. 2 years ago, it was 25-1, and Jawan Jennings threw the ball to CMC across field, and CMC ran it in. It was wonderful. It's only 12-1 this year, but I'm looking at it and I'm saying, if the Patriots are behind and they're struggling, Josh McDaniels has a history of trickeration. He knows he's got a bag of tricks, and I think there's a great possibility that someone other than Drake May might throw the ball. And Clint Kubiak may be about to leave the Seahawks if Seattle are up big, or if they're up by a sizable lead. You might see him flex his muscles with a trick play or two. So I think this has got good chances. 12-1.
Yeah, shout out to Antoine Randall back in the day, to Hines Ward.
Hines Ward, see, there's a history.
And who was the Eagles with the Philly? Goddard, or it's a tight end? Was it Goddard? Or
was it Ertz? Ertz to Foles.
Was Ertz still there then?
Ertz was still there then. Yeah, he scored a touchdown.
I think it was Goddard.
Philly. Yeah, so it might have been a young Goddard. Philly. So it happens. People want to put on a show in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What? 12-1.
12-1. It was 25-1 2 years ago.
Love it. Okay, so what we're doing specials.
Specials, yeah. Give me your best special.
Okay, I've got a rushing yards special. So
Okay.
It's simple. Kenneth Walker, over 50 rushing yards. Ramondre Stevenson, over 50 rushing yards. And Drake May, over 50 rushing yards as a treble, is 15-2.
Hmm. Okay, I love it. Drake May, if you don't contain him on one play, and this is where, like, the comparisons between him and Brady are a bit lazy. Like, Drake May really runs the football. He
Yeah,
he could get a massive chunk of that on one play.
yeah. And he calls his own rushing plays, as we saw against the Broncos, to ice it.
Yeah. Okay. My next one, it is a bold bet. Like, this is one where it's like, it's unlikely, but I see a route to it happening. So quite simply, it is a double for both defenses to score an anytime touchdown. You can get that at 68-1. I do think that this could be a defensive struggle for a little while. So we've seen Seattle force a lot of fumbles, pick them up, and run them back. And as good as Sam Darnold has been this year, he has his moments too. There could be a pick six in here. I don't have a strong feeling for it, but I think there's a route to it possibly happening. And at that price, it's well worth a go.
Okay, I've got. If this game goes the way I think it might, and the Patriots are trailing, this has got a great chance. Drake May, 300 passing yards. Drake May, 300, not 300 rushing yards. Again with that. So if the game goes the way that I think this might go, and the Patriots are trailing, this has got a great chance. Drake May, 300 passing yards. May 30 rushing yards or more, and 2 passing touchdowns is available at 14-1.
I love that. If they are behind, I absolutely love that. So my last special, it's a sack treble. So anytime sack. Milton Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Clavon Chason to have a sack each. You're getting that at 15-1. I had to include my man Clavon Chason from his days from the Jaguars. That is one Patriot player I am happy to see doing well.
Okay. Yeah, that was our specials. I've got a slightly less crazy special. So this
Okay.
is a fourfold, but I think this has a chance. JSN, 70 or more receiving yards. Drake May, over 25 rushing yards. Kenneth Walker, anytime touchdown. And Ramondre Stevenson to have 3 or more catches is available at 7-2.
Those odds are short, but I really see that coming in. Like, you really do, all of those four pieces feel like they're going to happen. Okay. So those are our specials. It's the Super Bowl, so we have to bring it back, Paul. Touchdown to Glory, Super Bowl special. Quite simply, give me Rashid Shaheed. He's 7-2 anytime touchdown. It's the Super Bowl. I'm not ruling out a return here. Like, there could be fireworks, and he is explosive.
Yeah, love that. I'll take a Patriots receiver and I'll go away from Diggs. I think Diggs is going to be locked up. So I'll go with Keyshawn Booty at 100-30 or 10-3.
Yeah, he's their speedster. Like, one broken or just one play where he wins out, that's a touchdown. I will also go with a Patriots receiver. Give me Mac Hollins. Like, this is someone that Drake May really trusts. And at 4-1, That's a great value bet.
Yeah, I'll take the Seahawks tight end Barner, 5-2.
Mm.
They target him sometimes in the red zone, and yeah, I think 5-2 is a fair price.
He had the winner in that infamous game against the Rams in overtime. Putting those four together, you're getting a whopping 309 to 1. Well worth a go. So last off, that leaves us with best bets, our absolute best picks for the Super Bowl. I will start us off, Paul. I love this. I really feel strongly about it. Give me Kenneth Walker over 20 and a half receiving yards. He gets involved in the passing game. And with no Charbonnet, I expect him to hit this number.
Yeah, if you take out JSN, then the receiving yards in this game are surprisingly low. So I'll take the best Patriots receiver. I think it's a totally fair number. Diggs over 44 and a half receiving yards. Think it's fair.
Definitely. That is achievable. I really want to take a big risk, but I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to call it out anyway. I absolutely love AJ Barner at an over under of half a rushing yard. All it takes is 1/3 or 4th and 1, and they will sneak it with Barner for that 1 yard. I'm not going to do it though. Give me Sam Darnold over 5.5 rushing yards. He doesn't rush a lot, but he does usually hit 6. So I think he's good for 1 or 2 scrambles in this game.
So the Seahawks have played 2 playoff games so far, and in both of those games, this guy has had a catch. Jake Bobo, just to have a catch is so he's over half a catch. He's had a catch in both of the playoff games so far, and he's number what 19?
Look out for number 19.
Number 19's on the field. I'm going to be watching.
Wow. 1 catch. That could be like a catch for -5 yards and it still comes in.
Yeah, so the over under on yards is half a yard, but because of that, I think the catch is the better bet.
No brainer. No brainer. So if you look at that fourfold, you're getting 12 to 1 on that.
Yeah, I think we've done. I think it's easy for us to just go right. The Seahawks -4.5, or even if you were brave and you just went the Seahawks -6.5. But
You just never know.
yeah, I like these. I like these player prop bets. I just think they're interesting.
100%. 100%. And hopefully we can go out with a bang into the off season.
Yeah, absolutely. This and the Patriots do deserve to be here, despite what we have said about the schedule. We're just trying to be objective about the matchup that we are faced with. And that's a real question is how can we evaluate this Patriots team? Because you are a result of your experiences throughout the season. And they arrive into this game with very different routes, very different challenges along the way. So that's what makes this game tough. And they could be great, the Patriots. They could turn up and I can't really see them blowing the Seahawks off the field, but they could
Outplay them, for example.
yeah, yeah. And they're the Patriots and they're Mike Vrabel and the OC's been around. So they are going to be prepared, but they're just hard to evaluate because of what we have described.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, to me, I look at it and I say talent wise, there's a big gap. But the question is, can the coaching close that gap? You
Yeah.
know, I think that's fair. Like you said, Vrabel, he's a great coach. And McDaniels, I think this is his 10th Super Bowl. So, he has a wealth of experience that they can tap into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's it, guys. I mean, enjoy Super Bowl 60. I know that both Paul and I will. Um, we
Who's
won't be leaving you though.
sorry, I haven't. Like, I know some people's way into the Super Bowl is who's the halftime show and what's the commercials going to be. That's not what my way into it. But who's the halftime show this year?
It's someone I don't know that well.
You
Someone
don't
called.
know all about the football, so I don't know.
His name is Bad Bunny. I don't. Maybe we are too old to understand who this is.
I can't claim to have any idea who that is.
No,
It
neither
might
do I.
it might be controversial, but when it wasn't, when it was the Dre and Eminem halftime show, I did watch. But for most Super Bowl halftimes, when it's not somebody that I know, I do I do turn it off, or I do just step away and
Yeah,
enjoy some food and enjoy some refreshment.
yeah, because that's a long break. That
Yeah.
when you're needing one yard on your player prop bet, it is annoying to wait that long. But yeah, enjoy the game, everyone. Just because this is the end of the season doesn't mean that me and Paul won't be around. Like, we will keep you informed during the off season. So we'll be back.